Imagine the heavy silence of loss, the absence of a loved one whose place at the table during Eid al-Adha feels painfully empty. In those moments, the question arises in many hearts and minds. Can you do Qurbani on behalf of the deceased? Does the sacrifice of an animal in their name bring them reward, blessings, and forgiveness in the hereafter? Today, we explore this deeply emotional and important question with clarity and compassion, drawing from the Quran, authentic hadith, and the wisdom of the scholars and companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The act of Qurbani is among the most noble and spiritually uplifting rituals in Islam. It commemorates the profound faith and submission of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, who was ready to sacrifice his son for Allah's command. The Quran says, "And we ransomed him with a great sacrifice." Surah As-Safat, 37:107, reminding us of the immense mercy and reward tied to this sacrifice. But can this act be performed for someone who has passed away? The answer begins with understanding the nature of deeds and rewards in Islam. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "When a person dies, all their deeds come to an end except for three: ongoing charity, sadaqah jariyah, knowledge that benefits others, and a righteous child who prays for them, Muslim." So what about acts like Qurbani done on their behalf? While deeds generally stop at death, Islam provides avenues for family and loved ones to continue benefiting the deceased by performing certain good deeds in their name. Scholars from the four main schools of thought have studied this issue extensively. The Hanafi and Hanbali schools generally permit Qurbani on behalf of the deceased, considering it a form of ongoing charity, sadaqah jariyah, which the Prophet, peace be upon him, highlighted as a source of continuous reward. Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal emphasized the importance of seeking Allah's mercy for the departed through such acts. The Maliki school tends to be more cautious, often emphasizing that Qurbani is a personal obligation, fard, and that one cannot transfer personal obligatory acts after death, though voluntary sacrifices may be performed on behalf of the deceased. The Shafi'i school allows doing Qurbani on behalf of the deceased as a voluntary act, nawafil, which benefits them and earns reward for the one who offers it. These nuanced positions are based on detailed readings of Quranic verses and prophetic traditions, aiming to balance legal rulings with compassion. One key hadith to consider is from Abu Huraira, who reported that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The deeds of the deceased are cut off except for three: ongoing charity, knowledge that benefits, and a righteous child who prays for them, Muslim." Here, Qurbani falls into the category of charity that continues to benefit. But is Qurbani obligatory for the deceased if not performed during their lifetime? No, because Qurbani is an individual obligation during a specific time, but it can be offered voluntarily on their behalf, which is an act of mercy and blessing. The life of the Prophet's companions also offers inspiration. They often performed acts of charity and supplication for their deceased loved ones, understanding that these deeds can ease the soul's journey. Reflect on the story of a companion who would perform charity and supplications for his deceased family, trusting in Allah's boundless mercy. This teaches us that acts of kindness and worship done with sincere intention can indeed benefit those who have passed away. But what about the emotional aspect? Performing Qurbani on behalf of the deceased can be a source of comfort and spiritual connection for the living. It turns grief into hope and action, reminding us that death is not the end but a passage to another stage where mercy and forgiveness prevail. It's an opportunity to honor the memory of our loved ones in the most beautiful and profound way. Now, think deeply. When we perform Qurbani for the deceased, are we just fulfilling a ritual, or are we rekindling their legacy of faith, love, and submission to Allah? Are we embracing the hope that our acts of worship can transcend this life? In conclusion, can you do Qurbani on behalf of the deceased? The answer is yes, with sincere intention, trust in Allah's mercy, and understanding of the scholar's guidance. It is a beautiful, ongoing charity that can bring immense benefit to the departed soul and spiritual reward to the living. As always, ensure the sacrifice is done according to Islamic rules, with proper intention and care. May Allah accept our sacrifices, forgive our loved ones, and grant them the highest ranks in Jannah. May He also grant us the strength to continue honoring our faith and loved ones through acts of worship and kindness. Ameen.